you? Is that where
sure.
the influence comes for your music? Really?
Yeah, I mean, I've grown up like kind of with her always in the background, I feel like, and so I don't know, just watching her grow and progress and stuff has been really influential on me. I wouldn't say that like her sound is what I'm going for, but she's definitely a major pop star like icon that I look up to.
Oh, kind of. I guess.
I started learning guitar when I was about.
Her music isn't something that influences your style. What is it about her that influences you or inspires you?
I think she's very powerful. I think she's an amazing performer. I think when she's on stage, she can control the audience and I think that all of her songs are, no matter how sad some of them might be, it's really, it helps a lot of people, and I think she touches a lot of lives and people that might be going through the same thing as her, even though she's a pop star. And, you know, doesn't matter who's listening, I think she is able to connect with people on a different level, I guess. That makes sense.
I like that. That's great.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and tee up this first song. We've been doing a little talking, and there's a lot more to learn about you. And as the hour goes by, and everyone, in case you don't know, in case you're tuning in right now, welcome to Meet Me Live Aid. This is an ongoing concert series. Today we're joined by Sarah King, who'll be performing for possibly a secret song. I don't know. We discussed. Who knows? It could be a secret song too. But who'll be performing her own original content tonight for you all, as well as talking about some of her musical journey and how she's become the artist that she is today. So what is the first song that you have prepared for us?
This is my song called Bodies. I released it last year as a single, and yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Well, as discussed, I'll leave you to it, and I'll be back after the song.
Cool. All right, guys. This is Bodies. Ooh. I was in the wrong. There we go. Thank you. That was Bodies. Wow, a microphone. Thank you. Ooh, getting a lot of fire, roses. Cute.
And it's a representation of the performance. I mean, seriously. When you perform, you seem so immersed in your performance and like your instrument. That's really something. When you perform, what is that connection for you to the music? Are these words? Is there meaning behind what you're performing right there? What is the story?
Yeah, I think music is really healing to me, especially like when I get to perform things live. I think it's just an experience every time for me, and it heals every time. Bodies is kind of like, I guess it's kind of a story of protecting something, like a relationship, whatever it is. It's broad. I really don't like have a ton of meaning attached to my songs, just because like people can interpret them in ways that they choose to. But yeah, I think it's kind of just wanting to protect something.
Wow.
Yeah.
How would you want the listener to interpret it then? Because if from that phrasing, that I like that, it's, art and having the viewer's perception. What would you like the viewer or listener to take away from that?
Kind of just like take things slow, like make sure you, I guess, like watch what you're doing, watch what your next moves are, no matter like what it may be. Just kind of like put thought into, kind of what path you're taking and the decisions you're making and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. You as an artist, very thematic. You have a presentation style to you, from the shade of pink of your guitar to the softness and how soothing your voice is. How was the evolution of you as an artist? What was the beginning for you? Did you start with original material, covers? How did this all come to fruition?
So I think about 4 or 5 years ago, I've always sung, just kind of like growing up as a kid. I've always just wanted to sing, and I felt so good when I sung, no matter if I was always alone pretty much, or like, growing up, I was very embarrassed of my voice, but I knew I wanted to do something with it. And so I guess what kind of started me off was my friend actually sung, and she was like, hey, I think I want to make a cover on YouTube. Would you mind playing guitar for me and adding some like background harmonies? And I was so scared. I was like, I don't want anything, I don't want anybody to hear me like sing, but like I really want to do it, but I don't want to, I'm so embarrassed. And she kind of like pushed me out of my comfort zone, and I'm so glad she did, because that ended up causing me to want to do my own covers on YouTube. And so I think I was in middle school and I made my first YouTube video, and it was a cover of Sparks by Coldplay. And I had learned guitar by then, so I kind of knew what I was doing a little bit, but my voice was just, for about 4 years, and then I started getting more serious about my like original content. I wrote a lot of shitty songs when I was like in middle school, and then when I kind of grew up a little bit was when I started taking myself seriously and like really trying. So it's been about 2 years of original content, I think.
Yeah, it's wild to me that you said that you weren't confident with your voice, that you didn't want people to hear your voice.
Not at all, no.
Was that a confidence piece, or you've grown? If so, how did you acquire that talent to sing the way that you do?
So I think it was just kind of like baby steps for me. In my eyes, I think like when I was singing in front of a camera, it was a lot more peaceful, I guess, instead of singing in front of, I could be singing in front of a camera and a million people could watch the video. It doesn't, but if I'm sitting in front of one person, it's so much more intimate, I feel like. And so it took me a long time to get to that point where I was comfortable with people hearing me. And I still get really embarrassed sometimes, but YouTube definitely helped me like open myself up to the possibility of people hearing my voice. And then I slowly started to like become more comfortable. So I started doing like open mics at like little coffee shops, and that was so terrifying for me at the time. And it just it was like little baby steps that got me to, I guess, where I am today. I think the biggest show I've done was in front of like 1,000 people, and for some reason that didn't scare me at all. But if it's a more like intimate scene, it scares the shit out of me to this day.
Wow. So this is the absolute worst, because it's just basically, I mean, there's many people watching, but it's you and I one-to-one talking. But that's why I hide away, right?
I don't know. I feel like I've gotten pretty comfortable in front of like cameras and sort of like internet things, because I've been doing YouTube for a long time, so it's kind of different. But I feel like if I was in a room full of like 4 people, it'd be so much more terrifying, I guess. I don't know if that makes sense, but
it does. Well, I have a lot of follow-up questions, and I'll talk all day, but I know that we have a lot of new people who have just joined. So if you'd like to prepare your next song, everyone, thank you for joining the Meet Me Live Aid. This is Sarah King. She is a part of the Live Aid concert series. Please stick around, enjoy yourselves, and enjoy the performance. So what song do you have for us next?
So I have my most recent single, which is called Velvet. I got my first real professional music video done for it, and it's probably my favorite song that I've written so far. It's definitely like more my style that I'm kind of evolving into, so I feel like this is a good one in my opinion.
Well, cool. We definitely look forward to hearing it, and here you have it, everyone. It's so good. It's so good. Yeah, I like you were saying in the comments, it's so smooth, and it's ironic that it's called Velvet. Or maybe was that the inspiration? Did you write the song and then decide, Velvet? It seems like the right fit.
I just think velvet is one of my favorite words, and so I kind of wanted to create a song around that word, and then the rest of the inspiration came from like other things. But yeah, I don't know. I love that word, so.
Yeah. Well, take a drink of water, because obviously you're working hard here. I saw a comment talking about YouTube. We were just discussing YouTube, but to give you guys some framework and an idea, you were currently sitting at 213,000 subscribers with over 16.6 million views. Mm-hmm. You're rocking over 23,000 favorites on Instagram. An entrepreneur, which we still haven't even gotten to. But let's go ahead and dive into that music video for a moment. You said that this was the first official music video that you had shot.
Yeah, it was really cool. Pretty much like in the past, I had always done like DIY music videos, and I would have a vision and I would kind of have friends help create it with me. So like for the Bodies music video, I completely did everything except for my friend made the dress that I wore, but everything else I did myself. And so for Velvet, I wrote the song, and I felt like it was so much more, and it needed a lot more to go with it, just because of how, I guess, important it was to me. And so I decided I'm gonna get a professional, set, like crew, whatever, help me do this. And so I reached out to my friend Jared, who's based in Austin. I think he lives in Brooklyn now. But yeah, he's great. He's a director, and he kind of found this location that was really perfect and happened to be in Texas already. So I drove out to San Antonio, to Guadalupe Theater, and it's a really historical, beautiful theater that we decided to film at, and had fog machines going to make it hazy and dreamy looking. And it's basically just this one take straight shot going around me on stage with a microphone.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
it was
awesome.
really cool.
That's awesome. And so speaking of YouTube as well, you mentioned that's how you grew and how you gained your confidence. Started out with covers and moved forward into original content. But you mentioned also before the song, that it's a new direction for you artistically. So can you explain a little bit more of that? What does that mean, that this song is now a representation of your art going forward?
Yeah, so in the past, I was kind of just like, I started writing songs because I wanted to make an EP or like a project based around like the sounds of summer to me. And so I just made like kind of like a soundtrack of songs that had summer sounds to me. So after I released that, I kind of wanted to nail down my specific sound, and I think recently I've been on the right path to finding that, and I think that I've almost 100% nailed down like how I want to be perceived and how I want to sound and stuff. So to me, like my new sound, I guess I would describe it as new retro with kind of like sparkle, dreamy, soft, kind of taking inspiration from Lana and the Marias, and also like some old influences, kind of like Patsy Cline. I love like vintage sounding things and fuzzy, soft things. So that's kind of like a big, I don't know, it's like how I'm trying to make my sound.
The adjective of fuzzy, because your Instagram layout, the way that you have yourself almost branded, does have this noir feeling to it, or this almost romantic fuzziness, which is a cool feeling to capture. That bleeds into some of the other things that you do. So I understand that you're also an entrepreneur.
Sure, I guess.
in many senses of I guess entrepreneurial and like fashion and fashion. So you have fashion. I don't mean to position it as like you're out starting businesses and doing things like that. But I think the mindset of the way that you started having clothing and photography, your own music, does this all create this, I guess, image or branding of you as an artist, and where do you want to take that?
Yeah, for sure. I think that I'm just really inspired by a lot of things. I feel like I'm a lot more creative. I have like a lot of creative like flow, I guess, and so I really like to paint. I really like fashion, thrifting, vintage, sort of things like that. I love editing pictures, editing videos, shooting, directing, styling, like all of that kind of stuff. And so I have like a vintage, I guess, shop. It's basically just my closet, but yeah, I have like a Depop and an Instagram account for my clothing, and so that's like the clothing aspect. I love thrifting. I love everything vintage, and within like fashion and stuff, I love collecting antiques and things like that. Yeah, I love shooting videos. I love creating my own little, like, directing videos for myself and for my friends, I think. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I like to make sure that we have enough spacing so that we can balance conversation and song, but we still have two, possibly even a third song left. So what's the next song that you have prepared?
The next song is a song that was on my debut EP, the summery one I was talking about, and it's called 88 Days.
Okay. Awesome. Well, there you have it, everyone. I just want to keep, every time I come in, it's just going to be clapping.
Thank you.
I honestly cannot get over how connected you are to your performance. Yes, there's something so special about, as you're performing. There's one thing to do, right? To do a performance, to play an instrument, to sing, but you move with your music. You sing. As you sing, it seems part of you. It's an actual chemistry, and that's just such a talent. It's such a talent. So yeah, thanks for that. Thank you for that performance. What 88 days? What is that referring to? What is that about?
It's kind of just like, I wrote that song such a long time ago when I was kind of, I don't know, I guess I think I was at the end of a relationship and things weren't going well, and I think it was kind of like a space issue. Like, I need space, but the other person doesn't want that. It's kind of just like, I don't know, time to breathe, I guess, and needing attention, that sort of thing, I guess.
Wow. It's a love song, man. In a way, a love song of sorts. Yeah, I'd hate to be on the receiving end of you writing a love song, because there's so much subtlety but power in your subtlety that it's like soft spoken. Like, man, did she really just do that? Like, I would not want to be on that end of things. Yes. So you mentioned in the beginning, for the people just now joining, this is Sarah King. She's been performing for the Meet Me Live Aid this evening. All these gifts, things that you're doing, everyone, help proceeds go towards those negatively affected by COVID-19. You mentioned early in the conversation that Taylor Swift inspires you. If I may tread, it also feels like Lana Del Rey vibes, or that's the first artist that I can think of that does it, but it's uniquely your own.
Thank you.
As you progress as an artist, as you move forward, you mentioned that this is your new style. What do you see being the next step for you, or what would you like to see you as an artist evolve into?
I think I'd just like to finally kind of solidify my vision and solidify my sound. I definitely have so many ideas like locked in my head that I want to create and flesh out. I just kind of, we're in quarantine, so it's kind of hard, but I think I just have like a solid vision of what I kind of want to be and how I want to be seen and how I want to look on stage, how I want to sound and things like that. And I don't know, I take a lot of inspiration from people like Lana and Kali Uchis, and I just feel like they're really powerful women, and I don't know, it's kind of how I want to be.
Absolutely. And thinking about the future, reflecting on who we've been as an artist or how we've progressed to be who we are, it involves some changes in things that we've done or mistakes that we've made. There's been many comments saying that they love your voice. I wish I could sing like you. Do you have any advice, any words of inspiration for the people who are seeing you now that would like to get to a point to be a performer like you? Do you have any words of encouragement, advice, insight, anything that you can share?
Yeah. I think for me, it was just like a lot of, like I said, like baby steps and kind of like pushing myself to get out there. It doesn't come just like, oh, I'm going to hop on a stage and sing in front of a lot of people. Like, it definitely takes a lot of getting comfortable with yourself. And I think that at first I was very shy, but I'm a Leo, so I kind of like knew I wanted to pop off and like pop out. And so deep down, I just kind of had it in me. And I don't know, as far as like vocals go, I literally have never had a single like voice lesson in my entire life. I was in choir when I was in middle school, but I don't know if that really counts, because like a lot of people go to choir or like have choir classes. So, but as far as like vocals, looking back at my first cover, I sounded like shit. So I think it's just like repetition and practice, and I don't know, it sounds weird, but maybe try and like, I don't know, like kind of mock, I guess, like an artist that you like, and then start, seeing how they I don't know, how they sing and then kind of just create your own.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
We can be our own worst critic. I can't imagine having the past, 6-7 years of my performances and being able to look back and going, oh, this is how I've changed. So that's neat that you have like this time capsule through YouTube of your performances. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What have some of your live performances been like? How do you feel when you're performing in a live audience versus something virtual like this? What is the experience like?
I love, usually when I'm on stage and there's a crowd in front of me, I mainly focus on the people that are right in front of me because they're always the ones that are dancing the most and like the most into it. And so when I see somebody like mouthing the words to my song or like really getting into it, it makes me feel a lot more comfortable, or like it boosts my performance, I guess, because I just know that like, hey, I see you, like we're on the same page, we're on the same level right now, and I'm vibing with you. And so it's kind of like a really intimate connection that you can form with people in the audience. So it's really fun, and it really does like help the performance, in my opinion. I think.
No, I definitely resonate with that. Well, we have a lot of new joiners who have not heard you perform, unfortunately, but we still have more music. So what's the next song that you have lined up?
So this would be my first single that I ever put out into the world, and it's called Dreams. It's my biggest song, I guess. And it's usually really pumped up and like really pop, like dancey, but I'm gonna do a really sad version of it because there's no way to like replicate the initial or like the actual vibe of the track. So
awesome. Well, I'll definitely want to explore more of that after the performance, but for now, let's hear this version. So yeah, take it away.
Ooh, that one had sound to
it. What was that?
That one had sound to it, the little diamonds that came across the screen.
Yeah. Some of the bigger GIFs, so the bigger the GIFs get, they incorporate sounds and cool animations. Yeah, it's neat stuff. It's funny that you described it as sad because in my mind, as you're
Okay, good. Okay, I'm glad.
What's the poppy version? I guess was it originally written to be a poppy song, or how was it originally intended to sound?
So I think what I did was I think I found like a beat on YouTube that was initially like really poppy and upbeat, and then I took it to my producer friend and we kind of like went off that sort of vibe and created like, because that one is like a part of the summer EP that I was talking about earlier, so I wanted it to sound kind of like upbeat summer, like pop, sunny, like all that kind of stuff. So that's definitely my most upbeat song. It's definitely different than that version that I just did, but yeah.
We can definitely plug it again, but just so that we don't forget, if people would like to hear that version, or the more poppy version, the version that you said had been released, where can they find it?
So my name is Sarah King on any platform, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, all that good stuff. So it's Sarah without an H, Sarah King, like King, Princess King, that kind of stuff. So Sarah
Nice.
King.
Okay. So search Sarah King on streaming platforms, YouTube.
Dreams is the song that I just did.
And Dreams is the song that you just performed. Excellent. I guess in the tradition too of the other explanations, what was the inspiration for that song?
So that one was kind of like, I don't know, I think I was inspired by somebody I was talking to at the time when I just kind of like wanted to be with them, but certain circumstances weren't, like, oh, they were busy or, something like that. So I just got kind of sad or like in my feelings, and I was like, well, if they're not going to be with me right now, I'm just going to go to sleep and call it a night because I'm bored, and I can at least maybe probably dream about you, hopefully, if that makes sense. If you're thinking about somebody like in the day, maybe they'll pop up into your dream or something. So I'm like,
yeah. I like it. And then, yeah, it's a self-explanatory name than Dreams.
Mm-hmm,
I like it.
For sure.
I was trying to determine too, do you feel like your music is optimistic in tone, or do you feel it is more melancholy or sad? How do you feel that your music is as an expression?
I feel like the music that I'm making now is kind of more melancholy, but I do feel like it's a soft, nice type of sad, if that makes sense. Kind of like I don't know, I feel like it could be taken either way. It just kind of sets like a certain type of mood. I don't think it would be either happy or sad. It's just kind of like maybe like reminiscing or dreaming, dozing, that kind of stuff. Yeah,
no, I click with that 100%. The slideshow thing. Yeah. So with the last portion, before we potentially get to the secret song, right? Is there anything that you're working on? Any projects, things that you're passionate about that you'd like to just touch on for a moment?
Yeah. So right now, I'm working on a couple of singles that I'm gonna hopefully release during this quarantine period of time, and then once this is kind of all settling down, we can go outside and create again. Before this all happened, I was creating two different volumes that would have 5 songs on each, and the first volume was pretty much done except for the video portion, and so I think that's a really important qualities to like mesh together, audio and video. And so with those projects, I would want like a short film to go with each of them, and I don't have the means necessary to kind of create them right now because we're all stuck inside. So those are pushed a little bit, but right now some quarantine singles. Yeah.
Well, the quarantine's not limiting the creative flow, though, I think. I mean, it sounds like you're determined and doing very well.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Yeah. So when we mentioned, or I guess as we talked earlier, we talked and went over how you got started in your covers and those things. I think it's cool to bring it back to some of your roots. So you mentioned that you've done covers and that you might be able to prepare one. So what is it that you've decided to bring to us?
So my favorite band, their name is Hers. I don't know if you've heard of them. It's a band called Hers. I got to open up for them back last March in Houston and Dallas, and then tragically 2 weeks later they got in a fatal car accident on their way to a venue. Dedicate this song to them. I always try to like incorporate a cover of one of their songs in my set list whenever I have live performances nowadays. So they're really special to me, and so I try to bring one of their songs into my set list.
Absolutely. All right.
My guitar clipped. I don't know if y'all heard that, but I was like, oh god.
Yeah. Well, this has been a stellar hour. I mean, this has been a stellar hour.
Yeah.
Every song that you've done has been so much fun. This has been a ton of fun talking with you, getting to know you, hearing your music. One more time, can you plug, if someone has not heard or seen you before, where can they find you? What are the socials that they should be following?
So my Instagram is Sara X King. My YouTube channel is Sara King. And all of my music is out on platforms, streaming platforms, SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, Apple Music, all of that stuff. And it's just Sara King. Sara spelled without an H. So SaraKing.
Sure. Yeah. I have some bonus questions in the last 5 minutes that we have. So first one, big burning question is the ivy behind you real?
No, it is not.
Okay.
It's a fake plant at IKEA.
Chat, take note. There's your answer. There were several comments about the ivy. They're like, "Is the ivy real?" I wouldn't have known to even possibly ask that question. Yeah.
I wish it was real. That'd be cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I guess in this moment, does anyone have any questions? Last things that you would like to ask, or things that are top of mind that you'd like to ask Sara? Well, we've still got a moment here. And while we're waiting for that to fill in, I'm curious, the guitar, what kind of guitar is that?
So it's a Fender Mustang. She's my baby. I love her. Probably my favorite guitar that I've owned thus far.
Yeah.
I don't know, the sound is great. I think it's the perfect size. I don't know. It's just overall amazing.
Cool. Well, I've got the ivy was the burning question, and the mic is an SM57. Are they?
I think so. Yeah, it is a Shure SM57.
It's a nice mic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I look forward to checking out more of your music. Is there a timeline potentially? I know it's hard with the COVID thing. Is there a timeline of when we might be able to hear something coming out, or is there something that we should be keeping our eyes and ears open for?
Well, so actually tonight, in about an hour, I'll have my Sunflower by Rex Orange County cover come out on all streaming platforms. It's been out for about 2 years on my YouTube channel, but for some reason it blew up and it has like 3 million views now. So I decided to put it on streaming platforms for everybody to listen to, because that was like a major request that I've been getting for the past 2 years. So that comes out tonight, but as far as originals go, I hopefully will have a new single out within the next month or so, which is called Heaven. So yeah, hopefully this next coming month, May.
Yeah, we can only imagine what Heaven might sound like if it's in line with everything else that was on tonight. Yeah, and in case you missed, everyone, speaking of YouTube, Sara has over 213,000 followers on YouTube with over 16.6 million views. And yeah, I did note that you had that particular video over 3 million views, another one over 1 million, many of them over the hundreds of thousands of views. Are there any final shout-outs, things that are important, or parting words that you'd like to say?
Stay inside. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, that's like a huge thing that's going on right now. That's the most important thing right now, is to stay inside. Everybody stay safe and healthy. Awesome.
I like it. Well, thank you so much for taking part in this Meet Me Live Aid series. You've definitely earned many fans. Myself, I'm definitely a fan. And we look forward to hearing so much more from you. Best of luck with the quarantine, all of your upcoming projects. And yeah, as I said, we'll look forward to it.
Thank you. Thank you, Meet Me, for having me tonight.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, I'm going to go ahead and leave the box. Thank you so much for chatting with me and helping us to get to know you more and sharing your art with us.
Of course.
All right. Bye, Sara.
Bye. Bye, guys. Thanks for coming in. See ya later. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, everything. Bye.